Well, relationships, as I've always argued, can be regarded as one of the most important aspects in human life. In social science and mental health research, it has consistently been shown that like a high quality relationship or a set of high quality relationships are usually correlated with positive health, mental health, and general satisfaction in life. We have heard about this like classic Harvard study that started in the 1930s, and they've been like tracing a number of people over their life course. What has been found is that like if people who are engaged in satisfactory, high quality relationships usually enjoy better health, mental health, and general satisfaction in life. And there's also some correlation with like being successful in different aspects of life. More recently, in May 2023, the Surgeon General of the United States issued an interesting report, like highlighting the risk of loneliness, on the contrary, as a major mental health risk. So if you put the two together, what it shows is that like people who are lonely, who do not enjoy good relationships, are at a high risk of suffering from poor mental health. And the people who have like positive relationships generally living better lives. So if we consider all this evidence, it makes sense for us to argue that socially, collectively, we should pay more attention to help people develop better relationships. On a personal level, then obviously, if you invest more time, energy into building gratifying relationships, you're actually making the best investment in your own life. Coming from an SSLD perspective, I would argue that like a good relationship is always understood in terms of the participants and 3C. What it means is that like when two or more people are involved in a relationship, the most important criterion for establishing what is a good relationship is whether their needs are met, whether the relationship is compatible with the kind of circumstances that they find themselves in. Whether the relationship is also compatible with their characteristics, which includes their physical characteristics and their psychological qualities and their social characteristics. So those are the important foundations of a good relationship. And then you'll be wondering, so what happens to the other C? So we've got needs, we've got circumstances, we've got characteristics. The third C is capacity. Why am I separating it sort of like in this discussion? The reason is that capacity is what we can focus on building. That is the part that is like most amenable to intervention and change. So a capacity, or what is considered capacity, is usually part of your characteristics, right? That can be improved upon, and it is also something that has positive value socially and personally speaking. Say for example, if you speak a particular language, like Latin or Portuguese or Korean, if that is your mother tongue, then it is your characteristic, and we can even call you like a Korean speaker or a Portuguese speaker or whatever. That characteristic will become a capacity when it can give you additional advantage on a personal or social level. If you go to a place where your language is spoken, or when you join a community where your language is spoken, then it becomes an asset, right? And it is very helpful. So that become parts of capacity. But if you speak a certain language, say for example, you speak Korean, and then like you move to a Portuguese speaking environment where no one else understands Korean, then this characteristic of like being able to speak Korean is not really part of your capacity, because it doesn't give you any personal or social advantage. You can say the same thing about any other characteristics, like being tall, being muscular, being strong, or being like shorter, or like of a particular body type. This characteristic may have neutral implication, but it can also have positive implication when it adds to your advantage on a personal or social level. Then it becomes part of your capacity. So why am I spending so much time in this introduction to talk about capacity? Well, as I said, capacity is something that can be built. Meaning that if you think you do not have that characteristic, say for example, you consider yourself an introverted person, or you consider yourself like having social anxiety when you interact with people, or when you consider yourself not being very confident when you start establishing a relationship with other people, that is your characteristic. But we can turn that into a strength if you allow yourself to learn and develop skills and competence in that area. Say, for example, if you participate in a program that helps you address social anxiety, or you take on like specific systematic learning to enhance your interpersonal skills, or if you start learning how to understand another person emotionally and engage with people in an empathic manner, all these skills can be developed, and then it can turn your original characteristics into capacity that would help you in building better relationships. So coming back to this, like the SSLD approach to relationships starts with the N3C analysis. First of all, it looks at what needs you're trying to meet in a relationship. And then it will locate your needs within your given set of circumstances. It will look at the characteristics, the person that you are, what characterizes you as a person. And then it will also allow you to develop your capacity so that your needs are better met. So if you understand the N3C concept now, then I will return to the origin of all things, which is your needs. So when you ask what is a good relationship, my simple and short answer is that a good relationship is a relationship that helps to address your needs. Like your need for company, your need for confirmation, your need for support, your need for a sense of identity, your need for pleasure, your need for a sense of accomplishment, sense of order, control, security. All those are psychological needs that you have. And a good relationship is one that helps to address those needs. And if you follow that thinking, what is a not so good relationship, or an unhealthy relationship, or sometimes we say a dysfunctional relationship, it's a relationship that you're engaged in, but this relationship does not address your needs. In some cases, your relationship can even present a barrier or threat to addressing your needs. So say, for example, some relationship can actually physically endanger you. That is not a healthy relationship because your need for safety is not met. Some relationships would leave you feeling isolated, ungratified, and even like feeling anxious and unsafe. That obviously is a relationship that is not meeting your needs. You may also be engaged in a relationship where you do not enjoy any satisfaction. It's just like a very routine, relationship that you almost feel like it is a duty or a chore for you to be participating in this relationship. You do not feel any subjective satisfaction. Then again, this is a relationship that does not meet your needs. So any relationship that does not effectively address your needs is not a good relationship, is not a healthy relationship. So when a relationship is not going well, the person may be aware of it when, as I said, the person experiences like dissatisfaction or like negative emotional experience. It can be, anxiety, fear, and all that. But there's another major threat to a lot of relationships that many people are not aware of, that is the kind of relationship that has gone stale, meaning that the relationship is no longer bringing you satisfaction, but it is not causing you a lot of distress either, right? You are not feeling a lot of negative emotions, but it can be like, boring. There is like no excitement. You go back to the same person on a day-to-day basis and not feeling anything, right? But you're also not thinking of leaving the relationship because society has taught you that this is the kind of relationship that you should be staying on. And the best example, of course, is marriage, right? So you're married to someone, you do not experience satisfaction. There is no abuse. There is like no major fights, and you just do not like get excited. And is that a good relationship? Is that healthy? Then it depends on who you are and what your needs are. Some people are perfectly okay as long as I have a spouse or partner to show the world that, like, okay, I'm a married person, I'm normal, and and I'm a part of this community. It doesn't matter whether I derive a lot of satisfaction from that relationship or not. I'm staying on. So you have people who are like that, right? And a lot of people can live with that kind of like low level of satisfaction, which actually is not exactly low, because the person is deriving the major satisfaction from gratifying his or her social needs, because this person probably needs to be like socially accepted, to be endorsed by other people like family members and all that, more so than seeking a personal excitement, like an intense sense of intimacy. Some people maybe do not need that so strongly, so that is okay. That is not dysfunctional, right? So what determines whether a relationship is good or bad, or like whether needs are met or not? It actually takes us on to another important consideration. That is the kind of person you are. Like some people desire certain things way stronger, and some people do not have that kind of desire. Some people make it a very important point in their relationship that like they share similar values, similar pursuits, like enjoying like artwork or the cinema or literature. To some people, those are completely irrelevant in the relationship that they have. Like what they care about is I can bring someone back home for Christmas or Thanksgiving dinners, someone who can afford like decent gifts to my family member. Some people actually engage in a relationship for financial security, or like I believe that this person will be a good parent for my children, so I don't really care if that person is a good partner or not. All of those, in my opinion, are legitimate reasons for staying in a relationship, as long as you feel that your needs are met. And understanding the kind of person you are and the needs that are of high priority to you, the more important considerations of what is a healthy relationship. Meaning that what appears to be a healthy relationship for another person may not be working for you and may not be healthy for you. So a good relationship for other people can be a very dissatisfactory relationship for yourself. So the definition of what is a good relationship is inherently very personal.